back to my channel, Rolling Through Life with TaLisha. If this is your first time here, welcome. If not, welcome back. Today I want to talk to you guys about something very important that not a lot of us disabled people know about, but I'm going to reflect on that today. No, you're not seeing double. I actually have two wheelchairs, one that I'm sitting in and my other wheelchair that I primarily use for traveling. And today I'm going to talk about why I have two wheelchairs. It's not because I want to collect them or anything like that, but I am going to elaborate specifically on each chair and talk about why I actually own two chairs. For starters, I want to let you guys know that it wasn't always the case that I had two chairs. Up until about 3 years ago, I have always just had one chair. So this is my primary chair, and I'm going to talk about that first. And this wheelchair I will refer to as my main wheelchair just because I've had it longer, and also I use it more, I would say. This chair also has functions that allow me to be even more independent other than being able to be mobile when I sit in it. For instance, it has reclining features that allow me to recline back. It allows me to recline my feet. It allows me to elevate higher if I can't reach something in my home, or when I'm out and about I can raise myself higher. That feature also works when I can't see something, I'm too short, so I will oftentimes elevate myself even higher. So it has a lot of great features that I use all the time. In my home, I don't really have modifications specifically for a disabled person. So things such as the light switch, I elevate myself higher to actually turn the lights on and off when I have to. And other than that, things like the dishes and things that might be on the counter that I can't reach, I will utilize certain features, primarily the elevation feature, to make sure that I can, reach the object or whatever it is that I'm trying to reach at that time. As I mentioned before, this chair I refer to as my primary chair because I use it within my home and I utilize the features that go along with it. However, aside from it being very useful in terms of all the features that it has, it also is very heavy. So because of that, I am not able to break it down to put it in a vehicle for me to be able to travel. When I use this chair and travel outside of my home, I utilize a door-to-door bus service for disabled people. Each state has, they call it something different, but in Delaware they call it dark paratransit. So I utilize dark paratransit whenever I want to travel anywhere in the state of Delaware, but it has to be within the state. Unfortunately, they don't travel outside of the state of Delaware, so I'm limited in that aspect. And like I said, it's also very heavy, so I can't break it down and it can't, go in a vehicle unless the vehicle is a wheelchair accessible vehicle and it has a lift. In terms of owning a wheelchair accessible vehicle, unfortunately I don't own one, and there's one reason for that, and the reason is that it's way too expensive. Even for like the older models of a wheelchair accessible van, such as earlier years, different models or previously owned one, they start at 50 to 60 grand. They're way too expensive. And so as you can imagine, the upkeep of them is also expensive. For instance, God forbid, the lift breaks or something like that. Because the vehicle is so specialized, it's super expensive to be able to get it fixed. And unfortunately, being a mom of 3 children, I just don't have the funds to be able to upkeep that. So I do have to use my travel chair, and this is part of the reason that led me to the research of finding a wheelchair that actually folds like a stroller. So most times when we think of a portable, foldable chair, we think of a manual chair. My disabled people, you guys know what I'm talking about. Those chairs that they fold like so, and you can just basically take them anywhere. Those chairs are great, and you can take them anywhere. You can even take them up and down steps with assistance with those. However, due to the nature of my disability, I am not able to push those chairs and be able to, get around by pushing the wheels, because I'm not strong enough. I just don't have the strength capacity to be able to do that. And as you could imagine, me having 3 children, plus my husband in an outing, and me not having any power, is just like a recipe for disaster. Could you imagine my husband pushing the stroller with our 3 children in addition to pushing me? That is just way too much. So I actually thought of this scenario when I first found out that I was pregnant. I was thinking, how am I going to get around? How am I going to not be able to depend on my husband to push me? Because I did have a manual chair in the instances where I required to travel, out of state, or even travel that required last minute plans. For instance, if I wanted to last minute go to my family member's house, my mom's house, or anything like that, it requires planning to be able to use the Dark Pair Transit service. So the rule for that is you have to plan the trip at least a day ahead of time. But as we all know, life happens. Sometimes you just want to get up and go. So that's another reason why I, started thinking about how was I going to be able to travel, out of state if need be, as well as travel in the instances where I have to do something last minute. I started thinking about all of these things because a lot of times with children involved, a lot of things are last minute, whether it be doctor's appointments or, traveling for certain trips or things like that. I started thinking about all these things, and I knew that there had to be a solution. One thing that I love about myself is that I'm very, very persistent. So with that being said, having all of the concerns that I had about being pregnant and wondering how I was going to get around outside of state last minute and things like that, I knew there had to be a solution. I knew that I was not able to use a manual chair. That was going to be out of the question. But I knew there had to somehow be a power wheelchair that was foldable, just like a stroller. So after doing some research, I came across just that. And the end result was this chair that you see right here, which is a chair that I ordered from a website called 1-800-Wheelchair. I will leave a link to the website in the description in case you want to check it out. But basically it's a website that has a whole bunch of different medical equipment for disabled people. Primarily catering towards wheelchairs, power wheelchairs, manual wheelchairs, just different types. And they have a section on the website just for foldable power wheelchairs. So of course, that's where I immediately turned my attention to. So they have a few styles, a few colors. I knew that I wanted it to be as lightweight as possible because along with my wheelchair, I would also have to be able to fit a stroller in the vehicle as well. So I decided to keep it limited to only wheelchairs that were lightweight. So what I did was I did process of elimination. All of them are foldable on the website, but some are more lightweight than others. So because of my body type, I'm small anyway, so it worked out for me to be able to have this option of having a lightweight wheelchair. Now, those of you that don't have any children, of course you'd be able to get any wheelchair that you want, because you don't have to worry about also fitting a stroller in there. But that was my limitation, so you just work with what you got. So that's what I did. This wheelchair is awesome in many ways because one, it's foldable, and two, it's lightweight. After I ordered the wheelchair, I was waiting for it for about maybe a week and a half. I waited for it before I finally got it, and I was super excited. The reason I got super excited about having this wheelchair is because, I never in a million years could think a wheelchair that was foldable, lightweight, and it has power, so I can move about by myself. I never thought that type of a chair existed, but it does. And I was super excited to use it and, try it out and see how I liked it and things like that. Also, I want to point out that I'm sharing this information with you guys because I wish someone had shared it with me. And like I said, I didn't know it even existed. But I want to, pass it on to you guys, to my followers that definitely could see this as a good use. Even if you aren't in a wheelchair, if you know someone that is in a wheelchair, you could definitely pass this video on to them. And I want to demonstrate to you guys how it folds up and what makes it portable. So I'll get to that later. But what I wanted to say was that this is not a sponsored video at all. I'm sharing this with you guys because I'm, genuinely enthusiastic about such a chair. And it's great. It makes me not be able to be limited in where I can go, how long I can stay, and, in ways that I am limited with using dark paratransit. This allows me to be limitless. So it's definitely exciting and useful for me to use. So, like with anything else in life, no matter how good something may be, there are cons to everything in life. And with that being said, there are some cons to having this wheelchair as opposed to my primary chair that I want to touch on. Some of the cons I was able to work around, and I will talk about that in a bit. The first con is that this chair is probably not going to be covered by your insurance. At least mine isn't, and the reason for that is because my insurance only deals with certain vendors, and so this wheelchair is not made by the vendor that my insurance works with. The pro to that, though, is this chair could be affordable if you save up money or if you might already have the money. So depending on the style of chair that you are interested in, they will run you about between $1,200 to $2,000. So that's a pretty wide range. But with $2,000 being the most expensive, I would say that's not really all that bad compared to a $70,000 plus chair that has a lot of, functions and things like that. It's really not, it's like apples and oranges. It's not really that bad. So that is one pro to offset the con of it not being covered by insurance. Another con with this wheelchair is that it's not as comfortable as my primary wheelchair. And the reason that I say that is because my main wheelchair was customized just for me. Everything from the cushion to the measurements of the feet rest, head rest, arm rest, things like that, even the seat belt. It was all measured to fit me and my body. With that being said, this wheelchair, on the other hand, I ordered from offline, so it is basically made to fit anyone, that could fit in it. And so it's not really as comfortable as my other chair. And the cushion is pretty standard. I don't believe it came with it didn't come with a seat belt, so I had to work around that. And also, the feet rest, depending on what you need or require as a disabled person, it doesn't really provide much support for your feet in terms of keeping your feet still. For me, I'm okay with that due to the nature of my disability. I don't really require my feet to be stabilized because I can pretty much stabilize them on my own. However, a way to circumvent the wheelchair not being comfortable is ordering cushions. So what I did was I ordered a specialized cushion from Amazon, and basically I use that to sit on top of the standard cushion that the wheelchair came with. And aside from that, it also provides height, because in this wheelchair I do feel very short, just because it doesn't have the function of me being able to elevate myself in the instance where I can't reach something or, I'm too short. I don't have that ability with this wheelchair, so anything that, adds height to me, I definitely am grateful for it. So even though the wheelchair is not as comfortable, and it doesn't really come with a real safe seatbelt, it'll require a little DIY, but that's okay. Because the chair is still good to use, and it's definitely beneficial in terms of me being able to travel outside of the state of Delaware and, go places last minute. So now that I have talked about each chair and I've touched on the pros and cons to each, I'm going to show you guys what you really want to see, which is how is this chair portable and foldable. So to do that, I'm going to have my husband, Quentin, act as the model for this wheelchair, and he's going to show you guys how it folds and how it is considered portable. So as you can see, here's Quentin.
Hi.
Thank you for being a model, honey.
Welcome.
So he's sitting in the wheelchair, and overall, he looks like he could be the owner of it. Like I said, this wheelchair, since I ordered it online, it was pretty much made to fit anyone that, ordered it, that could, their body type, it was made for body type similar to mine, similar to his, and it's not really adjustable to your specific body and what you need. So there's ways around that. But I mean, he looks pretty comfortable.
It's good.
Are you comfortable?
Yeah, I am.
He's comfortable.
Good.
And, he could travel on about his day. But you already saw that from me sitting in it. But I'm going to show you how it folds up and what makes it portable.
Now, as you can see, this is the headrest. This is where it can be adjusted. It has a couple levers here where I can actually, well, it's kind of a little stuck at the moment. But this right here, it could actually move up, adjusting towards the neck.
So if a person is taller, you could move it up.
Yeah.
To accommodate their height.
Another thing is behind here for the brakes. Normally you would find the brakes on the front over here, below here of course, but it is actually in the back. Now, as you can see,
turn the wheelchair around so they can see the brakes.
we need to lower the camera for that. Oh yeah. The best way I can show you the brakes is by folding it. For example, I'll take the seat cushions off. Now there is a lever right here in the back which will actually unlock it, as you just heard. Now I can actually fold it. Now put this right here, straight down.
And everything stays in place.
And here I go.
So it's pretty much portable. All you have to do is fold it and throw it in the trunk. The only things that you have to detach when you fold it is, of course, the seating.
Yes.
And I do want to show you guys the seating because, like I said, it comes with standard seating, but I also ordered special seating to accommodate my desire to have a soft cushion.
Okay, and also, I can actually pick this up. As you can see, the red levers actually control the brakes. If it is down, it means basically the person pushing it cannot move the chair. But if the red levers are up, means the person can actually push a chair. And would you see the black lever between the two levers? That is a lever that actually hooks onto the bottom right here, which actually secures the top in place from actually folding it down. Now, if I put it down gently, this weighs about 70 pounds. So yeah, folds up just fine, moves just good. And yeah.
So that is the foldable part. You basically fold it, and I want to show you guys the seating that it comes with. It's just a standard black seating, and you could use that by itself. But like I said, I like the softer cushion just because I sit all the time. So this is what I ordered from Amazon, and it's pretty much...
It's basically an egg crate.
Yes, it's an egg crate seating. And so I could sit in it all day with no problem. And that is definitely good for my back.
Yes.
When I sit up, sit down all day.
Actually, this has really helped her with her back from the 2 pregnancies. This one here is actually a back massager.
Yes.
Which we bought and installed right here.
And it pretty much has a massager on it, so if I ever want to sit back, relax, even though it doesn't have the recline feature, it does have the massage feature due to the DIY that hubby and I did to the wheelchair.
Oh yeah.
So the massage feature is actually something that my primary chair doesn't have. So that is definitely a benefit for this chair.
Another thing I would like to add is if you have a chair just like this, whenever you are at the airport, especially when they normally try to put heavy wheelchairs up the escalator, sometimes it can be very difficult. Most often they would drop the wheelchair on the floor. It would cause like an incident. This one, you don't need to worry about them dropping it.
That is definitely a great point, because I cannot tell you how many times my primary wheelchair has gotten damaged due to the mishandling of the airport staff.
Yes.
Boarding my wheelchair on and off the airplane cargo.
Yeah, and just I have seen it from first sight from the side window of the plane, where her wheelchair was literally flipped onto the side, and
we got window seats of it.
yeah.
But that's another story time that we would definitely elaborate for my disabled community.
Let's just say that the airline companies are not wheelchair friendly when it comes to loading and unloading wheelchairs safely into the plane and off of the plane.
So by having this wheelchair, I have started traveling on planes with this wheelchair, because it makes it much more
Accessible.
accessible, and it also accommodates my anxiety level that I get when I do travel by plane. It accommodates my anxiety level, because I do tend to get really anxious about how I'm going to receive my chair, because 9 times out of 10 with my primary chair, when I traveled with that, I did not receive my wheelchair the way that I gave it to them. And you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Comment your stories below if you have any funny stories or not so funny about your wheelchair being mishandled by airport staff. And that's honestly one of the major benefits of this wheelchair, because you honestly can go anywhere without any worries, just because it is so portable. So thank you so much, hubby, for being a model.
You're welcome.
For
And
the wheelchair.
I would also like to say that I would truly recommend this for anyone within a primary wheelchair, that they can get this. Their driving travels within a regular vehicle with a full-size trunk that would fit this, and within traveling within the airlines, all your stress would be relieved. You don't have to worry about the wheelchair being damaged. You don't have to worry about trying to fit your wheelchair within a vehicle or within any type of other vehicle that wouldn't fit a foldable wheelchair. Sometimes some vehicles may be very difficult, but in this case, this is a resolution. This is a resolution to all issues.
Okay, honey, they're gonna think you're a wheelchair salesman. So, as you can see, hubby and I are both just as passionate about why, this wheelchair is definitely beneficial to my disabled community.
Mm-hmm.
Back! Did you guys miss me? Did you miss my face? I hope so. I'm so glad that I was able to share this information with you guys, because it's information that I wish I knew when I was younger. But, when you know better, you do better. I don't just have 2 wheelchairs just because. As you can see, they both serve different purposes for different aspects of my life. And I definitely don't have a favorite when it comes to these 2 chairs, because in my eyes, they're both just as great, even though they may be very different. I like to refer to my primary chair as my Mercedes-Benz, and my travel chair I like to refer to as my Toyota. So, both are very great cars. It's just that they serve different class levels in terms of luxury. But you work around that, and they serve the same purpose nonetheless. And I will definitely link the website in which I ordered my travel chair from 1-800-wheelchair.com. I will put that in the description box in case any of you are interested in purchasing. And other than that, I hope that you found this video useful, because it's something that I'm very passionate about in terms of finding ways to make myself more independent. And the travel chair definitely does that for me. Actually, both chairs do it for me, but the travel chair, makes it to where I am able to travel anywhere without any type of limits. And, that is definitely great, especially as a disabled person, as you know. So yeah, I hope you found it useful. And if you have not already, please subscribe to my channel. And if you are already subscribed, please pass this video along to someone that you think would find this beneficial to their life. And I thank you so much for the support. Thank you guys for all of the feedback that I've been getting. I read every single comment, and I take in every criticism, good and bad, and I try to, present you guys with useful information and content as a disability influencer. I'm having so much fun making these videos for you guys, and I thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much.